Hey Carbs and Curls crew, I have another delicious recipe in the oven cooking right now. We're making strawberry banana low carb muffins. I can't wait to show you how we did this and what they look like when they come out. Let's get started.
Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. If this is your first time here, don't forget to hit the subscription button. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making THM or Trim Healthy Mama, what is known as the BAM cake recipe or Bust a Myth. But today we're doing it with a little bit of a twist. Instead of using plain Greek yogurt, I'm going to swap it out for strawberry Greek yogurt, and this is the oikos 000 no sugar yogurt that I'm using. I'm just swapping out the plain that the recipe calls for with strawberry to add a little bit of the strawberry flavor in with the banana flavor. Enjoy! All right, and once again, I'm using my Blendtec high-tech blending blender. And I'm just gonna throw all of my ingredients in this, hit blend, mix it up, and it comes out so smooth. So into the blender went 2 bananas. I'm also adding cinnamon and nutmeg into the blender, and then what I will do is put all of my wet or most likely to mush faster stuff at the bottom, and then I'll put my dry ingredients on top of that. I feel like it really helps the blender, so I go ahead and I put in things like my eggs, my Greek yogurt, my bananas, and then any seasoning, spices, or herbs that are needed, I throw those in there. And then the last thing that I'll put in there are the harder, more coarser ingredients to blend, such as the almond flour, coconut flour, oatmeal, whatever I'm using that's replacing my flour. This is a Trim Healthy Mama recipe. It is not a keto recipe because the oatmeal does add with the carbs, but again, this is an E recipe, which is an energizer item. If you were to choose these over having regular muffins, whether you're doing keto or not, these would still be a lot better on your pancreas and on your insulin with not causing an insulin spike. And oatmeal is a slow breaking down carb, a slow breaking down fuel, so it keeps you fuller for longer if you are eating this versus if you're eating just a white flour ordinary muffin that might be made with white flour and white sugar. This recipe has egg whites in it instead of the whole egg. That's another reason why it's an energizing item. And the Greek yogurt that I'm using in here has no sugar added. This is the oikos 000 yogurt, and I'm using the strawberry flavor. The recipe calls for 1 cup of yogurt, and the yogurt size is just perfect. It's just 1 cup. Sometimes I even use this cup to measure out the egg whites once I'm done pouring in the actual Greek yogurt, which is excellent. So simple. The sugar that I'm using in here, or I should say the sweetener that I'm using in here, is my Truvia, which is a erythritol stevia blend, which is really delicious. You don't need a lot of this stuff. A little goes a long way. And then when I actually eat my muffins, I usually just smear it with butter. I cut it in half and then smear it with butter. That's how I like my muffins best. You can do it however you would like to do it. These muffins also freeze really well. They last a good bit in the refrigerator, and then they freeze very well. I'll have the recipe down in the description box so you can see exactly what I'm using and all the measurements for it. I added in at the very end an extra ingredient, and that was walnuts, because I had walnuts on hand, and I just love banana nut bread or any breads that also have the addition of having nuts. So what I did was I just took some walnuts and chopped them up with a knife. After I made this video, I thought, oh, I could have just put these in a Ziploc bag and just hit them a few times with a meat mallet just to break them down a little bit, so that way we could get more of the nuts spread out throughout the recipe. But you can do it however you would like. This is just What I thought to do in the moment was just use a knife and just coarsely chop it up, and then at the end throw them into the blender, not while the blender is blending, because we don't want to pulverize it. We want the nuts to just add their extra flavor into the muffin. So once I got done blending it, then I was able to throw in the half cup of oatmeal that the recipe calls for, as well as the nuts, and just blend them with a spatula. And Quentin is in the kitchen with me again. He's here to help. He is always ready to help. He loves to work with Mama in the kitchen, and I think it's adorable. I know there will come a day where he won't want to be with me in the kitchen doing this stuff. So right now I'm taking full advantage of his help, even though every other second I'm dodging for knives and spatulas and things to get out of his hands. It really is a delight for a mom to have a child working with her in the kitchen. And now almost to the fun part, just pour your muffin batter into your muffin pan. Make sure you spray these with a non-stick spray or use butter. I just used Pam, as I always do, to pour these in. If you have cupcake liners, that would also work, and it would help them freeze more individually, because what I do is I just throw all of mine into a Ziploc bag, and sometimes when they freeze, they get stuck together. So if you have the paper, it kind of makes it a little bit easier for them to freeze more individually and not get stuck to each other. And we're so close to the end. Just throw these bad boys in the oven at 350 degrees for 25 minutes or until golden brown. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button if you are new here. Thank you. Well, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I just have one for these muffins. Actually, I have two: gorgeous and yummy. Good morning. It's the next day after I've made those delicious banana nut muffins, and I just wanted to show you how I store them. Okay, I just store them in the freezer in a zip bag. I'm just going to show you how I do that. So I just wait for my muffins to get cool enough on the counter, and then I put them all in a Ziploc bag and just store them in the freezer. They work really well being stored in the freezer. I also have my bagels in here. I have my low carb bread in here. I make low carb waffles and pancakes. These are all things that are quick to go breakfast items that people can just use as grab and go items. Thank you so much for watching the video. Comment down below if you get a chance to make these muffins, and I will see you in the next one.